Can you imagine if somebody in like your everyday life like came up to you, like one of your friends, like just say it's like one of your friends, they come up to you and they're like, oh, well, things are going fine between us, but I want to be the power role. You know how comfortable that would be? You know how weird that would be? He'd be like, okay, buddy. So a lot of people, like we, established at the beginning of the game, a lot of people in the DBD community, especially the killer, really have this idea that like they need to be like the power role, because they're the killer, they need to be the one that's like walloping and destroying the survivors, and at every single point they need to be the one in the driver's seat of the match and its progress and like wiping out everybody, like whatever. It's weird. In a 4v1 situation, like, it's just weird to be like, I want to be the power role and I want to just like lay waste to the 4 other players. It's weird, but I want to get it down to like a finer science, or not a finer science, but like a more realistic reason why the reason it's not that way, other than just, hey, it's weird, because you can say it's weird all you want, but then people just get upset because that's more of like an emotional reason. But like, your impact when you play killer is very, very much felt and echoes farther than I think you understand. And that's the reason that the killer does not have more power than they do in Dead by Daylight. Because if you're in a situation where, let's say, you're going to proxy camp someone, let's talk about that impact. Say, for example, you want to proxy camp someone. So you get somebody on first hook, and somebody is off on a gen. So one survivor on hook, one's on a gen. And let's say there was a third person on a gen here. So we got one survivor on hook, one on a gen, another one on a gen, and the fourth survivor comes for the save. So the fourth survivor comes for a save because, you're proxy camping, you're not full on camping, so they think they're safe. They come up and you chase them off, right? You chase them off the save. That fourth person is unable to get the save. They're not willing to trade. So now one of those 2 survivors that's just hanging out by themselves, who were just trying to do a gen and get the match, progress along. Now that person has to come off a gen. And come join this situation. So we went from having 2 gens having progress. So in theory, we should, right about now in the match, we should have 2 gens done. We're only going to have 1, maybe 1 done. Because if you're still proxy camping and you're pushing away the one survivor, and the other survivor comes up, you're probably going to pressure the new person that came for the save as well. So that's 3 people on the team you've occupied just by like hanging out around a hook. And that fourth person might have to come off the gen. And then you stop gen progress entirely. And why? How did you do that? Walking back and forth near a hooked person. That's it. All you did was walk back and forth near a hooked person. And that's all it took. That's literally all it took for you to literally pull everybody in the game to focus on you. That's all it took for you to change the landscape of the game from most people in the match, 3 people in the match were kind of just like minding their own business, to everybody on the team now has to worry about what's going on near you because you pulled their attention. You literally said, whatever you're doing, stop it. Now you got to come worry about this hook situation. And that's the reason that the killer doesn't have more power in DBD, is because the echoes of what you do matter way, way, way more and impact the game much more heavily than the actions of like one survivor. They really do. And I know it's like hard to feel that way because like killer so often feels like you're being ganged up on. And I understand that. Like, it feels a lot like when you're playing killer, you're just getting like ganged up on by all the survivors. But like, you have so much power when you camp somebody, like when you tunnel somebody out of the game, like you change the landscape of the game really quick. A lot of you that have played this game, especially on the survivor side, when somebody gets tunneled out at like 4 gens or less, that game from that point on is absolutely miserable. A 3v1 in this game, very miserable. Very, very miserable. Absolutely miserable. But the survivors can't do that. The killer does. That sets the tone so much more than 1 gen getting done, or even 2 gens getting done. It sets the tone so much more heavily to just have a person just missing from the game very, very early, as compared to like, 2 gens got done relatively quickly. The impact is so much more felt. It is so much more heavy on the flow of the game and the push and pull, that like if you made killer any stronger, like it would be too much. It would literally be too much. It would just be so much. Now, you know, there's gonna be somebody already typing in the comments like, well, I play clown. Like, I'm a clown main, so the game's stupid. You know, like, I understand that there are characters that are like weaker, right? That's fine. That's fine. It's totally okay. But I'm talking in general, like the average strength killer. We're talking about average strength killer here. You have a lot of impact on the game. You have a ton of impact on the game, just by the littlest things you do. So, and essentially they have to work around what you do. They have to work around what you do. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense if the killer was, in a sense, more of a power role, because like the things they do already, like the actions they take already have massive echoes on the way the rest of the game goes. So like making them even stronger would be scary. I think most of the reason that we even like want killers to be more of the power role isn't because of like any like, I think it's just like perk related. If anything, it's mostly just perks being annoying and maps being hard to patrol for certain characters. I think that's really what DVD comes down to, is perks are too strong and maps are kind of bogus. That's it. like that's all you need to have your power roll. Like I feel like people saying they want their power roll is just, you know, a band-aid fix to something that it largely won't fix. But yeah, that's just all I had to say today. Nothing much. Just had that thought in my brain and wanted to get it out there, because I hear that I want to be the power roll thing a lot, and it's just kind of odd. But I wanted to come up with something that was like a more sensible reason as to why I think it's weird, and not just like, oh, that's just weird champing them, you know, the whole time. So yeah, there you go. I'm smart sometimes. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, friends. If you want to make sure you do that, because that's how more people find the video and we can hang out together. We can have good times. If you want to see more of my YouTube videos and not have them hidden by the evil YouTube homepage, make sure you do that with the subscribe button down there. Other than that, I will see you when I see you, friends. Bye-bye.